All right, I am here with Laura Gallardo, winner of her preliminary match on season 30 of The Ultimate Fighter. Laura, you had a bit of a different journey as far as everyone is concerned, because you actually got called in as an alternate a
Yes.
little bit into the season and were immediately thrown into the octagon for a fight. So,
Yes.
what was going through your mind when you heard that you needed to be at the apex and that there was a possibility of you joining TUF, and then learning from your coach Juliana Pena that you were going to have a fight within a few days?
So when I got the call from one of the producers that, someone had dropped out and that they needed me, I immediately felt like this extreme excitement, like a complete, like, yes, like, I'm sorry for the other person who had to drop out, but I am so grateful that, I'm getting the opportunity to step up and step in. And then, being able to go and then find out that I had a fight that week. It was a little bit stressful, but I had been planning, when they told me I wasn't going to make the show, I went back with my manager, my coaches, and we just, tried to fight another fight. So I had been training, like I didn't go back and stop training, or I never stopped training. So I was a little nervous just because I didn't know many of the girls on the show, but I was for it, like I'm a fighter, I'm ready to fight, and I wanted to fight. So I was like, okay, let's do it.
Well, I will tell you, have the greatest poker face of all time, because you say you felt like a little nervous and there was obviously pressure, but you played it off so beautifully. I mean, you just looked more than anything like pumped up, ready to go. Your energy is truly infectious. Like, from the second of meeting you on screen, I was like, I like this girl. I'm cheering
Thank
for
you.
her. Was there any moment though that you could specifically talk about that you were like, oh man, like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I only have a few days to really prepare. And meanwhile, everyone else in this house has been preparing for what could have been weeks now.
Um, you know what? The beauty of the fact that I stepped in later was that I didn't have time to think like that. Like I didn't have time to think like, oh man, they're better than me. Oh, she looked kind of tough in the practice room, or I
Mm.
didn't know anybody. So when I got there and then the first day they told me that I was gonna fight, it was like go time, like I was like, okay, yes, like I'm fighting, let's just go for it. And luckily I had my coaches, who saw the other girls, and they coached me through the whole process. But like I said, I was a little nervous, but never that, oh man, I should have like watched film, or I should have done this. It was more like, I know I have everything inside, to beat this girl, whoever that girl was. And I just focused in on that and kind of just harnessed like those like vibes and emotions.
And talk to me about what it was like getting acclimated so quickly to the TUF house, because for a lot of people that might take a little bit of time to get adjusted, because it is so different than what you're accustomed to as a fighter in the outside world. So what was that like?
Um, yeah, it was a little hard because, like you said, I was just thrown in there. Everyone had a week to acclimate, and everyone already had friends and already had their rooms and stuff. And it was difficult, but I honestly think I just brought my practice of like meditation and journaling and breathing. And I feel like being able to sit with those feelings and being able to just have my alone time, on top of like I made awesome friends on the TUF show, like I became really close friends to a few girls, and they just welcomed me in. So being welcomed and having my own practice, I think really helped me integrate myself into the whole atmosphere.
While also probably helping you to integrate into the atmosphere more quickly than others was the fact that your coach, Joe Stevenson, was the season
Yes.
2 winner of TUF.
Yes.
What kind of advice did he give you as you found out that you were heading into this tough competition?
You know what? He told me to go out and have fun, and that he believed that I could win, and even if I didn't win, it didn't matter, but that just to put my heart out there and just to try my hardest. Yeah, I left with that energy of just going out there and putting everything I had on the line, and he was so good at just like whatever happens, like you still have your family, you still have your friends, but go out there and try to be the best self that you can be.
Wow. Okay. Well, you just came in like a ball of energy. You could tell that you really wanted to be there and you were ready for the task at hand. So it was interesting because the original opponent that was meant to compete the week you got there ended up, they put her aside, and then
Mhm.
your new opponent, Catherine, stepped in, who was very eager to fight you, by the way.
Mhm.
What do you think it was about you that made her be like, you know what, I want to take on this girl? Because even just from the looks of you, you look like a very serious and tough competitor.
Mhm. I don't know actually. I didn't know that she was very eager to fight me. I didn't really talk to her that much. I guess maybe, being in the house with her, I could say that she's a very game opponent. Like she's a very fierce lady. And she didn't come, she made friends and everything, but she came to fight as well. And I totally felt that like stepping into the octagon. Like seeing her in the house, she was so friendly. And then seeing her in the octagon and seeing these two different sides of her, it was like, oh shit, like she's ready to shit up too. So I think it's just this spirit that she has in her, like this warrior spirit, like ready to just, fight at any cost.
Yeah, she's awesome for sure. Is she also, despite the fact that you were, I would say, primarily dominant throughout the entire fight, both
Mhm.
rounds, but there was a moment she had you in a guillotine,
In a,
even for a second.
in a guillotine or trying? Um,
It was a guillotine.
Guillotine. I actually don't remember that.
Okay, well, there was a moment where
Yeah,
it looked like she could have had the upper
yeah.
hand. Did you feel any threat or any, angst that like, oh my gosh, this could be it?
Um,
Because you managed to get yourself out of it.
yeah. Actually, no, I didn't feel any like angst. I feel like because I'm a wrestler, sometimes I get stuck in those like not so good positions. So I've been stuck there before, so I know how to get out of it. Maybe yeah, I didn't really feel any like, oh my gosh, it didn't feel tight. So whatever she had, it didn't feel tight. Like I can remember back on some other fights where I was like, oh my God, my whole like arm is in and everything is stuck and it's hard to wiggle out. But it almost felt like a fluid transition where like she caught me and I just kind of moved with it and I flowed out.
So after the second round, did you feel very good that, okay, I got this. I have it in the bag. I'm moving on in this competition?
After the second round, I did feel very confident, and my coaches told me that they were confident. But I remember Juliana telling me, because obviously I didn't see the other fights, that we don't know how the judges can, score this. I don't know what they saw, and she doesn't know what they saw and how they interpreted the fight. So she's like, I think you got this, but stay ready for another round. Stay ready. So there was no time to like celebrate and be like, yes, like I won her in 2 rounds. It was like, okay, I'm confident that I beat her for 2 rounds and I'm confident I can do it for another round. So I was just ready to go into a third round with her.
Well, and you could tell Juliana was confident in you because she was telling you after
Mhm.
the second round to raise your hands. They
Yeah.
like hoisted you up as you were in
Yeah.
your corner. So that was cool to see. And actually, Dana White called you a little badass and he said he liked you. I mean,
A
the
little
box
baddie.
does not often give away compliments. I mean, getting
Yeah.
a compliment from Dana White is a big deal. So what did you think when you heard the compliment that he delivered to you?
Oh man, I felt like, well, first I felt so grateful after winning and just, being there. I was so grateful for being able to be the alternate, and then when he said that, I was like, oh my God, Dana White said this. This is awesome. Like obviously when you go into a fight, you never want to go in with like, I'm gonna please him and I'm gonna please her and I gotta please everyone around me. Like you go in there to fight and to win. And I'm so happy that through my performance, he was able to see that, and that he said that I was a little baddie and that I was, good.
Well, I think it's awesome that you came in so poised. You were an alternate, and I think a lot of people in your position might feel flustered and might not then be able to compete to the best of their abilities. But Laura, you were incredible, and I want to congratulate you on your preliminary win. And just speaking from my personal perspective, I'm cheering for you, and I hope you go
Thank
far.
you. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.